This conference will now be recorded.
Hi all, welcome to the next session on SAP ABAP. In the last class, we have discussed about the what exactly the reporting and what are the reporting events which we have seen in the yesterday's class. So, so what exactly the report and so what kind of reports we have? Yeah. So first question, answer in a sequence. What exactly the report and so how many types of reports we have? Hmm? Yeah. Hmm? Here I have given very good definition, simple, concise, and precise definition. Even I have given the shortcut. In that shortcut also, you are doing more shortcut. Huh? So it's my very shortcut. It's a 3 words or 4 words. Display the data in user required format. It's in a report. Very shortcut, concise and precise answer. Okay, you are doing more and more concise and precise answer. Okay, and we have two types of reports, and one is the classical reporting, and another one is the interactive reporting. In the classical reporting, display the summarized data in a first list or basic list. We call it in a classical reporting, and display the detailed information on the secondary list. We call it in a interactive reporting. And ABAP is an event-driven language. It's not a linear or it's not a sequential programming language. So the program will execute. The program flow depends on the events. Okay. So based on the event sequence, the ABAP program will be executed, guys. And so now if you see, there are different kind of events we have in the classical reporting. We have different kind of events in the interactive reporting. In classical reporting, we have initialization, we have at selection screen, we have at selection screen on field, we have at selection screen output. Yesterday we have seen, and also start of selection and top of page and end of page. So what exactly the initialization? And so guys, always you need to remember, I run entire course with this picture, guys. So input, processing logic, output, and database. So see, we are covering one by one. So we have seen the output statements, we have seen the database concepts by using data dictionary. So what is table, what is DML, what is DQL, what is DQL, what is DDL. Okay, we have seen that kind of things. And also input, how to design the input by using single input, by using parameters, checkboxes by using parameters, radio buttons by using parameters, and select options, right, for the ranges. And whenever you define a field with the select options, it creates an internal table with inbuilt work area with sign low option and sign option low and high fields, guys. So that's an select option. That's also we have seen, guys. So maybe I go to the events. What exactly the events? So initialization, just think input, processing logic, and output. So input, so before selection, before displaying the selection screen or input, the initialization event will be triggered. Then after I enter the values in the input, when you click on execute, the at selection screen event will be triggered. But at selection screen is the generic for all the events. And if you want to validate the fields and particular field, and we are going to use an at selection screen on field. And suppose if you want to, and what is the difference between at selection screen and at selection screen on field? So at selection screen on field will be triggered first, and at selection screen will be triggered later. And at selection screen, which is in a generic for all events, but on field is restricted to that particular field only. But when there is an error, when you raise an error message, the cursor goes to the particular field if it is an at selection screen on field. But if it is in a generic, the at selection screen event, the cursor goes to the first field of the selection screen, guys. This is what the difference between the at selection screen and at selection screen on field, guys. And we have one more event called at selection screen output, and this is the name. It will be triggered before selection screen display, and it will be triggered after you process the input values. That means it's in a combination of the initialization and combination of the at selection screen event, guys. So that's an at selection screen event output, and which is used to provide a dynamic selection screen. And based on the selections, I can disable the fields, I can enable the fields, I can remove the fields, I can um, set in a field as in a password like field. I can do whatever the things I want. If you want to do that, if you want to do any dynamic selections, we need to loop at the screen. And in the screen we have different kind of fields like group name and input, and we have invisible and also we have active. Perfect. So these are the fields which we have in the screen elements, and we need to enable 1 and 0, 1 for enabling it, 0 for disabling it. And so that's the things we have seen in the last class. And start of selection, when you process successfully the input values, then start of selection event will be triggered, where we are going to write on a processing logic and sequence of the events. If you see, the initialization will be triggered first, and that selection screen output will be triggered next, and that selection screen on field will be triggered next, and that selection screen will be triggered, and start of selection and top of page and end of page case. So this is what which we have seen in the last few classes case. Maybe are you clear with the at selection screen output, or do you have any questions on the at selection screen output? So did you practice yesterday at selection screen output? Simple guys. So it will be triggered before selection screen display and after selection screen display, and enabling and disabling the fields we are going to use at selection screen on field guys. And coming. Yeah, next, tell me. Modif means why we use is I am going to group the fields case. That's a modification. Suppose if you want to modify the field, I have a selection screen field, and I have in selection screen, total selection screen, I have some fields. One block I have some fields. In another block I have some fields. In another block I have some fields. So if I want to disable all the fields in a single shot, we have to use a modified. So I give a modified for the same kind of fields. Same kind of fields means sales, organization, distribution channel, division comes into the same group, and we have a customer in one block, and we have an order date in one block. So group them into the single modified, and whenever that modified comes, and disable those all the fields. So to do that, I have used in a modified guys. Okay, that's simple. And user command, so whenever you take an action, right? So I have three radio buttons. When you take action, it will be triggered guys, the radio button will be triggered, the action will be triggered, otherwise the action doesn't trigger. So that's why we use the at user command. So if you want to do some actions on the selection screen, we use a user command in the selection screen. Okay, even we use in the report as well the user command option. We'll come into the next topic, that selections, the interactive reporting also in the future. We'll see what exactly the at user command guys. And maybe now we'll see end of selection guys. Actually, whenever the requirement comes, we'll use the end of selection at selection screen on value request, at selection screen on help request guys. Maybe what exactly the end of selection is, nothing much importance guys. The end of selection, just do the processing logic, and before displaying the output, the selection, the select statement you are writing, right? So close that with the end of selection. The database selection, you have to close it guys. So SAP user, and SAP user, welcome 1 2 3. Okay, someone, welcome 1 2 3 4. So maybe go to the SE38, and I go to the this guys, not the yesterday one. Change. Already I have a select statement in this report. So after the select statement, I am going to write. So this is my closing of end, right? So my selection logic is completed. Okay, maybe what I will do. See guys, if I am ending over here, right? So instead of ending here, I will take it out. After select, I put an end if. Okay, save, pretty printer. And after the select, so I ended my selection logic, fetching the data from the database. Then you have to use end of selection. Selection logic is, sorry, end of selection. That's it guys. Save, pretty printer. Then after the selection, you do the output. After the selection, you have to do the output, guys. That means the processing logic is completed. When you put an end of selection, the processing logic is completed. Only we are doing an outputting the logic, guys. Maybe press F1, you get all the documentation about the end of selection. See, end of selection, but it's an absolute, guys. It's an absolute. Absolute means, so no need to use this statement, guys. End of selection. It's an obsolete in the recent version. See, the statement end of selection is only intended to use executable programs that are associated with a logical database. So normally, guys, whenever we use in a logical database, we use an end of selection. And the statement defines a event block whose event is triggered by ABAP runtime during process flow of the executable program. If the executable program is associated with a logical database, end of selection is triggered. The logical database has fully completed its work. It's an executable program without a logical database. End of selection is directly done after the start of selection. Okay, so write this case, but it's an absolute statement. It's an absolute statement. So absolute means the end of selection doesn't work, guys. That end of selection is doesn't work. End of selection we don't use normally, guys. Whenever we have a logical databases in HR module, we have a logical databases, so there we are going to use the end of selection, but don't worry on this. So we don't use the end of selection over here, guys. Just I have used, but nothing importance, nothing importance. There is not much impact on the programming flow, guys. Whenever if it is in a HR, then we have to use the end of selections. The selection logic will be completed. Okay, take it like this event, and this will be triggered after the start of selection. Whenever it is triggered, the start of selection, even the end of selection also triggered. But the sequence I can give like this: start of selection and the selection. Okay, that's it. And we have seen this event, right? Output and value request means whenever you press F4 on the field, you are going to it is going to trigger the end at selection screen on value request. Whenever you press F1 on the field, it is going to trigger on the report to selection screen only, guys. The at selection screen on help request will be triggered. So when you do on the selection screen, then only this event will be triggered, guys. Okay, so that's a different kind of events in the classical reporting. But what exactly the interactive reporting? What exactly the interactive reporting? Tell me now, guys. So how many ways we can do an interaction on a screen? How many ways we can do an interaction on a screen? How many ways we can do an interaction on a screen? So how many ways I can do an interaction on a screen? How many ways I can do an interaction on a screen? How many ways I can do an interaction on a screen? How many ways I can do an interaction on a screen? This is the screen. This is the screen, guys. How many ways I can do an interaction on a screen? Tell me. See, how many ways I can do an interaction on a screen? How many ways I can do an interaction on a screen? How many ways I can do an interaction on a screen? Tell me. So this is my Gmail application. Where is that? So this is my Gmail application, guys. Simple. So what you can do? So maybe I can. So this is all my records. I can say these are all emails. One email is in a one record, right? So maybe it is displaying in a table format, right? See, it is displaying multiple records. Just think about your internal table. So let's take an example. This is an internal table data. In internal table, I have each mail is in a one record. So I can click on a record. So first is the first one is the display the data in a summarized report. This is my summarized report. Okay. So when I click on the email, it will show the detailed information about your email. So when you click, it goes to the next list, guys. The detailed information, the mail exactly, what is the content, what is the subject, everything showed in the second list. So this report, I can say it's an interactive reporting. You are doing some interaction on the screen, and it is going to the next list, and the next list which is showing a detailed information about your mail, right? That is one action I can do. The second action is we have some push buttons, guys. I can say this is a push button. Click on this. I can click on a push button, and I can click on a push button. 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 I can click on a. These are all push buttons. These are all buttons, guys. These are all buttons. I can say these are all buttons. I can do an interaction on a buttons. That means push buttons. I can do an interaction on a record, guys. So this is the two ways of actions we can do on a screen. In the same way, not only in web application, in SAP screen also, I can do any two interactions, guys. So click on this. See, here I can say these are push buttons. Execute is in a push button, and variant is in a push button. And when I execute this, see, so I can click on the record. See, if I click on the sales order, for every order, there are different items. For every order, you can see the items, right? Whenever you create a sales order, did you remember? I have given the items: 10 material, 20 material. That's an items where the item details will be stored. Where the item details will be stored? Huh? Sales order. Okay. Where means store where, store where, store where, store where, database table, guys. Okay, where you store, right? In the database table, right? So you know, right? Where do you have a store, right? Long back, whenever your grandfather is there, where do you store? In your room you are going to store your the things, right? Where you are store your articles, or you have some separate rack, there you are going to store it. Here also, where you store the data, you are going to store the data in the database table, guys. Simple. Okay, what is the database table? It's in a storage area where you will store the data, guys, right? So here also, that's why I told where you store, you have to store in which table. Directly I asked the question. So in which table you can store the item details. So you can store the data in the database table. VBAP is the database table for the item details, guys. Maybe lot of times, guys, you know the answers, but you are not able to understand the questions. That's how most of the people will face the problems. First of all, if you understand the question, then only you can answer it. If you don't understand the question, how can you answer it, right? So first of all, you need to understand what exactly the question. Okay, I ask where you store the data, item details. Okay, what is the database table for the item? You need to think. Yeah, it's in a web app. Yeah, web app is the database table, guys. So first you have to understand the what is the question. So here my question is, I have an item details for an order. The order item details will be stored in the item database table. That is an a web app is in a database table, guys. I explained. Okay, very important, guys. This PPT is very important. Your career will depend on this PPT, guys. Okay, so this is the PPT. Okay, the PPT number is 56 and 57, which gives a lot of information. 56 and 57 are very important, guys. Entire business will drive with this functionality. Okay, 56 and 57. So that item details I have stored here. Sales order, this is a sales order. I told about the item. What is the database table for the item? Web is an item, guys. That's the my question. So that's the, so where I am actually. Yeah, so when I click on the order, actually, did you see the item details over here? No. So what is the material, and how much quantity you ordered for that material, and what is the item for that, and what is the cost of that material, individual cost, and what is the quantity. So did you see that information here? No. So if you want to see the detailed information about your sales order, we are going to use the concept called interactive reporting, guys. So what exactly the interactive reporting we see now? and a new slide and interactive reporting. Interactive reporting. I think one, okay, one wicket is down. So I know. So so after 1 month, slowly the wickets will down, guys. I know that. Okay, but so you have to take challenges things, guys. Okay, don't give up, never give up, guys. So you may face problems, but you should not give up. You never give up, and you have to take in a challenge. And why you cannot, why others, why I cannot. So this is always you should be having in a question, why others, why I cannot. So maybe you can think, why this guy can explain all these things, why I don't learn this concept. Okay, so everybody have their own brains, everybody have their own unique talent, guys. So the problem is, so if you need to utilize your brain, that's it. You need to put efforts, you need to utilize your brain, then definitely you are going to achieve a lot of things. Okay, so I have utilized my brain, I have utilized the time, I have put a lot of efforts, that's why I'm able to explain all these things, I am able to learn a lot of things. And in the same way, if you do the efforts, if you put your efforts from your end, and also if you utilize your brain, definitely you will be in very good position like me in after 10 years, guys. So that's what I can challenge. But you have to take the challenge and never give up. And if any problems, if you are not able to understand, and instead of putting 2 hours, put 6 hours, definitely you are going to understand after 6 or 10 hours. But don't leave that concept if you don't understand. Until you learn it, you need to practice, and you need to learn it, you need to read it. Okay, that kind of practice if you do, definitely you are going to get a success case. Now I go to the interactive reporting. What exactly the interactive reporting? So Hello. Yeah. Screen now. Yeah. So that's the problem, guys. So online you cannot believe, because I will be in one flow. So you are in audience list. You need to tell whether it is coming or not. Otherwise, every time I don't go and I don't see over there, guys. And also even the effectiveness, the class effectiveness, you cannot feel like online class. So not like classroom training, the effectiveness is entirely different in the online training, so you will not understand much. Okay, maybe not now, after some days if you have some experience then you may understand, but in the first time if you are learning, so it's not at all possible. First time it's not at all possible, guys. So maybe if it is second time, or if you have some kind of experience, then you can understand the online trainings. So okay, so where we are, SE 38. And guys, maybe I don't write the logic here, guys. Maybe you may confuse. In single report, I I showed here. See, guys, SAP user is locked. Actually, this report is locked, guys. If you want to unlock this report, what you need to do? Not E, it's M. SM12, and go and select this and delete. SM12 to unlock the entries, case. Unlock it, and now you can come back. But it's good. So at least you remember something. Okay. So next one is SE38, and so change, and I don't implement interactive here. Maybe I take out this and execute. It's only classical, guys. And maybe I can copy this, and I change this to the interactive interactive reporting events. Copy and save. So what is the event, guys, for the interactive? At line selection, and you know where the value will be stored? In the psi lisel, the system variable psi lisel. I need to know the order value. How can I get my order value? By using offset. How many characters the order value? First 10 characters, guys. Right? Save it and select. I need to fetch the data. See, if I want to display the item details, I need to fetch the data from item. So what is the database table for item? So for the sales items, it's in a ABAP. So go to here and select VBELN. VBELN. Next, select PO SNR. Next, select MAT NR. So item details, guys. MAT. See, even you see the fields. Material number is the product or material. Then material number, charge, and this. I wanted a quantity. So quantity. Okay, ZMENG is my quantity, guys. ZMENG. And the unit of the quantity, ZIEME. right? Quantity unit. And also, guys, not don't take that. Take the MEINS, guys. MEINS. So this is my quantity unit. And also for each quantity there is a value. For every quantity there is a value. The value is NETPR. So it's a net price, and total price is the NETWR, guys. So total price, quantity into the net price, which is equal to the total price of that item. So these details I want from the VBAP table, and into table. Tell me GT underscore VBAP, guys. GT underscore VBAP, where VBGLN, which is equal to, where is the what VBLN I need to take? GV underscore VBGLN. Why? Because whatever you clicked it, that value we are storing in GV underscore VBLN, and pump that GV underscore VBLN and fetch the data from the VBAP table and store the data in the VBAP internal table. This is an internal table, guys. This is a database table. This database table permanently store the values, but this internal table will have the memory allocation. When you execute the program, a memory is allocated to the internal table, and whenever you fetch the data, the fetched data will be stored in the internal table, guys. That's an um, internal table. The difference between the internal table and database table, guys, very very important. Pretty printer, and it's not in a aligned format. Okay, so how you dress up, in the same way you need to do the code also, guys. Okay, don't write the code without beautiness. So how you dress up, in the same way you need to do the coding as well. Don't write the code like this. Some people will write the code like this, okay. So how it is, okay, save, ready printer, okay, activate. So if you write this code, okay, I will throw your code in the dustbin. Okay, I'll throw your code into the dustbin. Okay, don't write the code like this, okay. So always you need to do with a good format as well. So this is my code, guys. See now how it is, it looks beautiful. And so yeah, we'll do that. So edit, and so guys, there is an error, gv underscore vbln, gv underscore vbln. What is the error? What is the error? Because you need to have a data object. For this you need to declare a data object, guys, and go and declare a data objects. It's a gv underscore vbln, which is a type of, can anybody tell what is the data element for the sales order? Hmm? vbln underscore va. Perfect. So this is the thing. And check VBAP also unknown, and declare the fields for the VBAP as well, guys. So guys, so if you want to define, so guys, I can directly define all the fields from the internal table, but what you need to do, if I define all the fields here, you need to use into corresponding fields, but which is a bad statement. So define the internal table with the required fields, guys. Guys, I'm going to introduct a shortcut to define a internal table now, guys. Why? Because till now I don't introduce. Why? Because you should practice. That's why I didn't introduce. And till I think you are familiar with how to define the types. And my shortcut to define the internal table types is simple, guys. Go to the pattern and go with fields from the structure, and VBAP, enter the database table. Okay, and I want the field VBLN, I want the field POSNR, I want the field MATNR, I want the field JWRT, I want the field MEINS, I want the field control F NET PR, I want the field control F NET WR. Okay, maybe it's in the top. Control F NETWR. See, so okay, and copy, and types ty underscore webApp, enter. See guys, so everything, no need to worry guys. So ABAP is a very easy programming language guys. ABAP is okay, very easy types. And see, this is the ABAP program. And so pretty printer, and you can see here, and this is my types for the web app shortcut. Okay, shortcut to define the internal table gt underscore web app, and the type table of ty underscore web app, and gs underscore web app, and type ty underscore web app case. So these are different case. So most of the people doesn't know this option guys. I know, I see a lot of people they used to declare like this. Okay, next. Okay, WARKS type, and this, then this, then this, then this. 40 fields. It takes me 1 hour to define. But if I use that shortcut seconds, okay, within 1 minute I can declare an internal types for the internal tables case. Okay, this is a way of the effective, the productivity will be increased. You can write. Huh? Okay. So this is the thing. And what is the error? Yeah. So do the thing. No errors now. So now declare the internal table and work area. Did I declare VBAP? Yeah, I have declared the work area and internal table. Yes, the internal table definition is done, guys. Now do the syntax check. No errors. Yes. So where is the data now? The data is in the internal table, and display the data. Okay. Loop at gt underscore webApp into gs underscore into gs underscore webApp, and end a loop, and okay, right gs underscore webApp hyphen, okay, order, okay, and then item, what is the item number, gs underscore webApp hyphen posnr, and material gs underscore webApp hyphen mat nr, and gs underscore webApp hyphen quantity zmen z, and what is the quantity unit gs underscore webApp hyphen meins, and what is the net price gs underscore webApp hyphen net PR, and gs underscore webApp hyphen netwr. That's it. Save, ready printer, do the syntax check, and ZMENG. Is it? Okay, ZWERT guys. ZWERT. WERT. Do the syntax check. No errors. Yellow is positive. So no problem. Yellow is warning. And execute, and select this. So the variant is gone guys. Why? Because we have copied into the another program. That's why the variant is gone. The variant is restricted to that particular program only, and this is a separate program you need to save again, right? And top int, some variant guys, I put some name. See, the variant is created, and select sales and execute now. So I executed the sales and double click on 229. Oh no guys, so it's not going in, it's not going, it's not going, it's not going. Why it's not going? Maybe what I need to do, so maybe I put in a breakpoint, put in a breakpoint, and so there is some problem guys. And now select this and execute 20235. Double click. Yes, it's going, but there is some problem. See, 20235, and select F5. See guys, size of RC4. That means the value 20235 does not exist in the database. And go to the table. We'll see guys. Don't believe sometimes the program. Maybe You are writing in a wrong program. So go to the database, check whether that value is exist or not. 20235 and execute. Guys, there are records, two items we have, two items we have. Why it's giving me the wrong value? 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 So guys, so always whenever you program it, so sometimes the values come in a, the internal value is different guys than whatever you see the value, the internal above programming values are different. So VBELN, go to the VBELN underscore VA and double click on VBELN and see guys, there is a conversion routine which is maintained at the domain level. So what is that? There is a conversion routine which is maintained at the domain level. So in the domain level, what you can maintain? I can maintain the data type. I can maintain the length. Even we can maintain the conversion routines as well, guys. So what exactly the conversion routine? We'll see now. What you can maintain? Data type and length and also conversion routine. So what exactly the conversion routine in the domain level? So we'll see in the data dictionary. New conversion routine. It will be maintained at domain level, which provides internal and external. External means display values. Display values by using function modules. When we double click on routine, we get it. So maybe I go to the conversion routine, guys. Double click on this. So there are two function modules, guys. Conversion exit alpha input. If you want to have an internal value, we use input is the function model. So don't worry, we talk about the function models in the future and we get it. So don't think this is a function, guys. Don't think much. So this one function. This function will give the internal values. This function will give the output values. So whenever I use in the program, I have to use internal values. Whenever I want to display output, I need to use an external values, output values. So maybe I use this function, guys. I use this function for the input values. Okay, debugging restart and go to the program change. So we'll in 3 to 4 days we are going to talk about what exactly the functions and all. So so what you need to do is, so you need to call that function pattern and provide that value and pass this case, pass that order number, pass the order number gv underscore vbeln, and it will convert that value, internal value, it will store that converted value into gv underscore vbeln. So pretty printer, do the syntax check and activate. Put on a breakpoint here, guys, and execute and select the variant and execute and click on 20235 and F5. Now the value gv underscore vbln is 20235, guys. So I'm going to do an F6, not F5. See, guys, what happened here? What happened here? Yeah. So 10 characters, the leading zeros are added, guys. So exactly that internal value you should be having in a leading zeros. This function module will add in a leading zeros to your field, guys. So your leading zeros to your field value. This is the function model, guys. Alpha input. Now you fetch the data. See, guys, psi sub RC is the 0. Psi sub RC is the 0. GT underscore VBAP. See, guys, exactly. We have two items. We have the two items. See, and 10, 20, M3, M14. Double click and see 10, 20, M13 and M14, guys. And now see, loop it and display the data. F8. It will display the data, guys. See, so the quantity, actually the quantity is not displayed here, guys. It's a wrong. The quantity is there in some other field. Maybe this is not the original quantity. Quantity is there. See, to like that. The quantity ZMENG, no. So guys, this report is not a good report. Maybe I will change this report. Settings, user parameters, ALV grid display. In the SE16 I am doing this, and here you can see the ZW doesn't have any quantity. I think SMENG will have the quantity, guys. NETWR, no, guys. What is the field? KWMENG will have the quantity. KWMENG. Is it correct? KWMENG or SMENG? SMENG also is also there. SMENG. No, SMENG doesn't have. So the actual quantity is the KWMENG, guys. KWMENG. So that is the field which I need to take it. So that's why it's showing in a 0 as an a value, guys. So change the field. KWMENG. Here also change the field. KWMENG. Select also three places, huh? Two places. Select also you need to change that field. KWMENC, and also right KWMENC. Save and pretty printer, do the syntax. See, this is my unit testing is. I got on a 0. Why it's getting 0? Because it's not a correct field. So I have corrected that field, and now I have resolved my bug. And double click 20228 now. I'm clicking on another record, guys. See, psi ls 20228. Click on record, you are going to get it. The all value is the 20228, and this function model will add the leading zeros and fetch the data GT underscore VBAP. We have only one item, and display. It is going to display that thing, but there is no price, guys. There is no price. 20235, and yeah, in the table level there is no price. Two, the quantity. See, 2 into 828, which is becomes 1656, guys. So this NETWR is a unit price, guys. NETPR is a total price. That's the difference. First I need to display this, second I need to display this, guys. So maybe I will just alter the fields. Here NETWR, here NETPR. So like this you need to show, and click on it. Okay, and execute, and 20235, and execute, and you can see two quantity, 2 into 800 1600, 3 into 1800 2400 26 change. Okay, that's an a. See, guys, detailed information on the secondary list. This is my first secondary list, guys. So what is the psi ls and value for the first secondary list? And execute, and see, guys, psi ls and psi hyphen lsind. See, guys, 1. First list it is going to display, and the psi lsind value is 1, guys. Then one more thing, in the here actually I need to display a page header, guys. So if I want to display a page header, what is the event which I need to use? Top of page. But it's a normal report, it's an interactive report. If it is an interactive reporting, if it is in a secondary list, if you want to provide in a page headers, we use top of page during line selection, guys. So top of page for the normal list. Line selection, top page during line selection, the interactive reporting. If you want to provide in a page header, we use this event and write format, color and 7 and write and what is this? This is okay, sales order item details, right? So this is my thing and format color off and maybe I will print psi hyphen lsind psi lsind pretty printer do the syntax check and activate. Okay, and execute and select this and execute and 20235 and execute and execute. Now you can see this is a sales order item detail. Psi LSIND value is the first secondary list. The psi LSIND value becomes the value is 1, guys. So this is a top of page during line selection, guys. So top of page during line selection. Now tell me what is at line selection. So what is at line selection? When it will be triggered, it will be triggered when we click on record and top of page during line selection. I am ignoring hyphens and all and it will be triggered when the first output statement finds in 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 secondary list, guys. So whenever it finds in a first output statement in the secondary list, then the top of page during line selection will be triggered, guys. See, so I put on a breakpoint now, debugging, come back. So see, guys, so at line where we are going to print the first secondary list in the at line selection. In the at line selection, I put on a breakpoint here. Okay, and also I put on a breakpoint in the top of page during line selection. Execute. So when we double click, it goes to the at line selection. At line selection event is triggered. And at line selection is triggered. And F7. And in the at line selection, it goes and it finds the first output statement. Whenever it sees the first output statement in the basic list, and it goes to the top of page during line selection. Execute. That's it. That's the top of page during line selection. So these are the events in the interactive reporting. So we have seen the two events in the interactive reporting. So one is the at line selection, top of page during line selection. We'll see tomorrow. So more things on the interactive reporting and maybe tomorrow and day after tomorrow. And also till now we are fetching the data in single table and we'll see how to fetch the data from multiple tables, guys. That topic also I need to cover. So inner join for all entries, joins we discuss in the tomorrow's class, and with the interactive reporting and control break statements and joins and messaging and today is, yeah. So maybe I will complete by Saturday all the reporting concept with the fundamentals. Then next Monday we start the modularization techniques, guys. Okay. So modularization techniques we start in the next Monday. So this weekend, by this weekend, I complete all the fundamentals of ABAP. Not all fundamentals, some of the fundamentals of the ABAP. In the next week, Monday, we start the modularization techniques. And then we'll start the object orientation, combining all the batches. This time, live class for the object orientation. Okay. So now course is in full swing. Okay, you need for your side you need to practice. That's the important case. Now we are into the logical things, logical part. Okay, you have to do this kind of, maybe you want exercise. Okay, same kind of report. I'm going to give an exercise for you, and interactive reporting, new slide, and insert my uh, things are, so block one, I want two, three radio buttons. Okay, I am giving complex scenario. Radio buttons. One radio button is customer master data. Second radio button is customer sales area data. Third radio button is customer company code data. Okay, and fourth one is customer all data. Customer all data. Okay, this is the four radio buttons I want. And block one. Block one, the input is the customer number, which is in a range. I want a range in the first input. And next one is the customer sales area data. Block two, I want an input. One is the sales arc. The second one is distribution channel. The another one is division. Okay, these tables, I will give the tables also, guys, to refer. It's not a sales data, it's a customer data. It's the KNVV. Okay, it's in a KNA1 reference, guys. Next to the customer company code data, the third radio button, and in the block 3, I want input is the, okay, company code. Okay, it's in a table of KNB1, and choose the field Bucharest. You do have to take the some particular field. All data means I want all the blocks. I want all the blocks as an input. Okay, now I want this, and output should be take below fields. Output from tables. Output fields. I will take the output fields here. Control X. Okay, try to do this exercise. I want a output customer name, one country, city, telephone number, customer sales arc, distribution channel, division, and company code. I want this output, guys. So I want KU and NR. I am giving the fields directly, or else, so I give, I don't give the fields, guys. You have to find out. I want customer number, name, name, and country, city, telephone, okay, sales arc D, right, D channel division company code. This is the output, guys. So are you clear now? So I want radio buttons, 4 radio buttons. I want 3 blocks. Okay. One block I want customer number as an input field with the range. I want sales arc this with not range, single input values, single input, and company code also I want in a range, guys. Range. And also when I select radio button customer master data, it should display only this block. When I select customer sales area data, it should display the second block in the selection screen. And when I select customer company code data, it should display only the company code block. The other 2 blocks will be disabled. At selection screen output, you need to use it, guys. So if you do this exercise, guys, then if you do this exercise, then you will become a good ABAPer, guys. You will become a good ABAPer. Do this exercise and with the debugging, okay, with the debugging skills, guys. So that's it for the day, and thank you all. Bye bye. See you tomorrow.